A few years ago, armies of India and China were clashing with each other. Soldiers of both countries were fighting with sticks and stones. Some said that India and China can even go to war with each other. But now it seems like everything has changed. India and China are finally getting back together. But after all these years, why are India and China suddenly improving their relations? Let's find out. Since the very start, India and China relations have never been that good. After both the countries gained independence around the year 1950, there was initially a brief period where both India and China had good relations with each other. But this did not last very long because there was a war between India and China in the year 1962. This war happened over Aksai Chin. This is the northernmost part of India. While India claims all this area is part of India, a lot of this area is controlled by other countries. Pakistan controls this area, shaded in green. China controls this area. So in the year 1962, India and China fought over this area called Aksai Chin. Now a very big problem emerged after this war. Both India and China did not agree on a particular line which would divide India and China. Even now, India claims Aksai Chin is part of India, China claims Aksai Chin is part of itself. Not only this, but in the northeastern part of India, there is a state called Arunachal Pradesh. While this state is controlled by India, China claims that this state is part of China. So this is another area where India and China do not agree on where the border lies. So these border issues have been a major reason of animosity between China and India. Up until the years 2014 or 15, India and China gradually improved their relations and tried to settle some of their border issues through diplomacy. Since the year 2014, this guy Narendra Modi has been the Prime Minister of India. Due to the improvement of relations between India and China, in the year 2014, Xi Jinping himself visited India. As you can see here, Modi is meeting Xi. Here both of them are sitting in a swing. But this situation did not last long because in the year 2020, there were major clashes between India and China in Galwan Valley. Galwan Valley is here. As you can see, India and China both claim this is part of their country. So this led to some military clashes between India and China. Around 20 Indian soldiers died in these clashes. After this, India banned many Chinese apps. India started strictly scrutinizing and stopping Chinese foreign direct investment in India. Flights between India and China were stopped and relations between India and China severely deteriorated. Apart from these border issues, there are many other issues between India and China. One of the issues between India and China is Pakistan. Pakistan is an arch enemy of India. At the beginning of this year, both Pakistan and India were lobbing missiles at each other and there were heavy clashes between India and Pakistan. While Pakistan is a rival of India, Pakistan has very good relations with China. China has sold many weapons to Pakistan. China and Pakistan have very strong economical ties. And India, of course, does not like this. India does not want China to support Pakistan in any capacity. While India and China have a very big trade relationship, Chinese exports to India are much more than Indian exports to China. So India suffers a big trade deficit with China. After the clashes between India and China in Galwan, many people in India said that Indians should boycott Chinese products. But ultimately this was not very successful because money generally trumps everything, and between cheaper products from China and expensive products from India of the same quality, Indians chose Chinese products. So this boycott did not really work. In the year 1960s, after China took over Tibet, India allowed the leader of Tibet, Dalai Lama, to stay in India. In the recent years, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has directly addressed Dalai Lama. This appeasement of Dalai Lama by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi really angered China. China has also improved its relations with Indian neighbors like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. So India finds itself a bit diplomatically isolated in its own neighborhood. It seems like every neighboring country of India wants to develop strong relations with China. And if given a choice between China and India, India fears they may choose China. But surprisingly, in the recent years, India and China have started to improve their relations. Indian Foreign Minister has said that India-China relations are much better than before. 2 days ago, Xi Jinping said that India is a good neighbor, friend and partner on the occasion of India's 77th Republic Day. But why is India and China finally improving their relations? There have always been some areas of cooperation between India and China. There are many areas in which India and China can improve their relations and enjoy mutual benefits. The value of India and China trade has crossed $140 billion. India and China are both part of BRICS and SCO, which are important non-Western alliances. Many sectors of Indian economy like pharmaceuticals, IT, and renewable energy can greatly benefit with improved ties between India and China. But this was always true. So why have India and China only recently started to improve their relations? Why did they wait till the year 2024 to improve their ties? Well, the biggest reason of this is that India-US relations severely deteriorated after Trump came to power. India and China have recently started to improve their relations. In the year 2025, senior Indian officials visited China to improve India-China bilateral relations. Indian NSA and Defense Minister also visited China as part of SCO meetings. SCO is a 10-member alliance which includes China, Russia, Iran, Pakistan, and India. In the year 2024, India and China reached a diplomatic agreement on the main friction points in Aksai Chin and Ladakh. India and China also restored direct flights and relaxed visa rules which were imposed after the 2020 clashes. Indian pilgrims were allowed to visit a sacred mountain in China. China is the second biggest trade partner for India. India is heavily dependent on Chinese imports, especially on rare earth minerals. Some weeks ago, India's Finance Ministry also planned to remove various restrictions on Chinese firms bidding for Indian government contracts. After the reduction in border tensions, India is trying to improve commercial ties with China. These restrictions on Chinese firms were also imposed after the 2020 clashes. So as you can see, 2020 clashes between India and China in Aksai Chin were a very big reason for the deterioration of relations between India and China. In 2025, for the first time in 7 years, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited China. He also agreed to foster deeper commercial ties with China after Donald Trump imposed a 50% tariff on Indian goods. A big reason behind India finally trying to improve its relations with China is that Donald Trump imposed a 50% tariff on Indian goods. If Trump does not remove this tariff, then the trade between India and America can greatly reduce. While many currencies of various countries have improved with respect to dollar in recent years, Indian currency has performed very badly. Indian currency slid a lot against dollar in the recent years. India enjoyed trade surplus with United States. Because of that, India gained a lot of dollars. But after Trump imposed tariffs on India, India can lose that trade surplus. Trump has also improved America's relations with Pakistan, which, as you can remember, is an arch rival of India. So India does not like this. Trump initially hit India with a 25% tariff, but he later added 25% to it, saying that India purchased a huge amount of Russian oil. Trump also sanctioned Russian oil companies, which greatly hindered trade between Russian oil companies and India. After the war started between Russia and Ukraine, India started to purchase huge amounts of oil from Russia at very low prices. This was very beneficial to Indian economy, and Trump has tried very best to stop this. So India does not like Trump stopping trade between India and Russia. Because of tariffs and some other reasons, Indian economy is currently very vulnerable. Chinese investments can provide jobs to Indians. Chinese investments can improve Indian technology. So Chinese investments can be very beneficial for India. So to mitigate the losses between India and USA because of Trump's tariffs, India can try to get Chinese investments. As I said before, India is also heavily dependent on Chinese exports. If China stops exporting rare earth minerals or other critical goods to India, Indian economy will suffer a lot. So this is another reason why India is trying to improve its relations with China. Trump has also imposed tariffs on China. So China is also looking to diversify its exports. So China is also willing to improve its relations with India. The biggest reason why India is trying to improve its relations with China is still the fact that Donald Trump imposed tariffs and greatly deteriorated relations between America and India. Apart from 50% tariffs on India, sanctions on Russian oil companies, there was a recent news where countries which purchase Russian oil could suffer a 500% tariff. So this would really destroy not only trade or economic relations, but all relations between India and America. So given the deteriorating relations between India and USA, India has to look at other countries. And who has the second biggest economy in the world? China. Who has the second most number of people in the world? China. Whose economy is an export powerhouse? China's. And given that China is also a neighbor of India, China is of course the obvious choice to become an ally of India. So in the future, will this keep happening? Will India keep improving its relations with China? And will the relations between United States and India keep deteriorating? Well, it mainly depends on Trump. If Trump strikes a trade deal with India and reduces a lot of tariffs imposed on India, and if Trump does not impose 500% tariffs on India, if Trump allows India to purchase some Russian oil, all of this will help save the deteriorating relations between India and United States. If Trump keeps supporting India's rival Pakistan, if Trump keeps up the trade war with India, India will have to improve relations with other countries, and this will include China. If relations between India and China improve, India will not really mind if Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and other Indian neighbors improve their relations with China. So this is another positive. China's rare earth mineral monopoly and other technology is also a big leverage against India. And if India keeps improving its relations with China, China will not really use it and Indian economy will stay its course. But strain in Indian-China relations also remain. India and China border issues still remain. Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh border will still remain a source of tension between India and China. China-Pakistan relations will also remain a source of tension between India and China, and the trade deficit India suffers with China will also remain an issue with China. But if China plays a more diplomatic role between Pakistan and China, like it played between Iran and Saudi Arabia, where it succeeded in improving relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia, this can be good for India-China relations. If India started exporting more stuff to China and trade deficit between India and China decreases, this will also improve India-China relations. And if India and China move towards a comprehensive border deal where they agree on the border line between each other, all of this will greatly benefit the relations between India and China. If you found this video interesting, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And thanks for watching.